80,000 subscribers. 80,000 is a massive number. Although technically speaking, at the time of making this video, I'm actually at 79,965 subscribers, but welcome back to another Sunday vlog and welcome to my Q&A. So I promised you guys when I hit 80k, I would do a Q&A, and I figured that by the time I finished recording this video and finished editing it and kind of uploading and all that stuff like that, I will either be at 80,000 subscribers or I will be very, very close. So I thought there's no point saying I'm not quite 80k, I won't do the video today, because then you won't have it till next week and you wouldn't have a video today. So I was like, you know what, I'm going to do it anyway. So for the purposes of this, 80,000 subscribers. Bah, mind blown. So awesome. Like, thank you so much. Like, genuinely, I will say it again at the end of the video, I'll say it throughout the video, but thank you so much to you guys. Like, you guys are absolutely awesome, and the speed at which the channel is growing is just like constantly mind-boggling. You know, I wake up every morning, I reply to comments, I look through stuff on my phone, and I see the numbers and I'm just like, where are these guys coming from? But either way, thank you so much, massively appreciate that. And the projections still are kind of on target for hitting 100,000 subscribers next month, so we should hit 90k by like the end of this month, and then beginning of June / like middle of June, somewhere around E3, we should hit 100k, which will be awesome. And for that, I've got some cool stuff planned. But anyway, today, Q&A, 80k Q&A. I like that because it rhymes, 80k Q&A. But anyway, so a couple of weeks back, before I went to Bungie, you may remember I put up a video saying thank you very much for 70,000 subscribers, and I said I was going to be doing a Q&A. So I asked you guys to post your questions either in the comments for that video, or also to send me questions on Twitter using the hashtag #AskArekkz. So I went through all the questions and I kind of grouped them all up together, and I got a lot of questions. I had about, well, kind of once I've filtered through them and chosen the ones I wanted to answer, there's about 6 pages of questions that I've kind of copy and pasted into a Word document. So I'm going to go through all of them. I'm hoping I can try and do it as quickly as possible. So let's try and do this. Firstly, question number 1. Question from, and I really hope I pronounced your name correctly. If I said it wrong, then I am so sorry. But Patrick Oosterholt sent me a tweet and he said, Arekkz, what made you start with Destiny, start streaming, and start YouTube? And that actually rolls into a question that quite a few of you guys have been asking me. A lot of you said, what made you start YouTube? So I'm going to answer Patrick's question, but also questions from the rest of you guys, all of whom asked what made me start YouTube. So the super short answer is my friend 269. As a lot of you will probably know, 269 also runs this channel with me, but if you are a new subscriber, then you may not realise that I run this channel with my friend 269. He does a lot of stuff behind the scenes. You know, you don't necessarily always see him or hear from him, but he does a hell of a lot of stuff on this channel as well. You know, he kind of makes a lot of the stuff happen behind the scenes, like a lot of the sort of techie stuff with like YouTube and analytics and tags and stuff, and he's like constantly watching and kind of like working out what we should be doing and stuff. So he's like the strategist, the kind of like business strategy kind of guy, and I'm the guy that kind of makes the videos, so I produce the content. I'm the guy you kind of sort of like see and hear, but equally 269 does a hell of a lot, and he's also the one that made me start this. See, back in, I don't even know the years, I'm not going to kind of go back because it make me sound old. Back when I was at university, I went to university with 269, and in the second year we lived in the same house, and we basically, like, we used to play Call of Duty all the time, and I wasn't very good, but he was. And then he was like, you know what we should do? We should get a capture card and start recording some videos and send them to Machinima, you know, for like Kills of the Week and stuff like that. So we started doing that, didn't really do much with it, you know, I kind of just left the capture card there. Occasionally we recorded like Smash Brothers matches and stuff. And then when we both started working at Microsoft, we were like, you know what we should do? We should start making like YouTube videos. In fact, well, it was my guy of more 26 that said that. He was like, you know, you got a capture card, we've got this opportunity, why don't we try it? And I was like, you know what, sounds like a good idea. So I started off, when I first started, I didn't actually, you know, I wasn't really doing voiceover and stuff. I was basically just recording raw gameplay and uploading it. And as it kind of sort of started growing, I realized I needed to start like putting my own stuff into it. So I started doing like commentary and stuff. And when I first started, it was, you know, I look back at it now, it's so painful. It's like really rusty. I'm basically like, hi, today I'm basically it's just like really bad. But anyway, it was like a learning process. You know, you start somewhere. I kind of wasn't very confident back then, but obviously kind of like having done it for a couple of years, you know, kind of sort of like built my confidence up, and my videos now are a hell of a lot better. And then from there, it kind of just went from strength to strength. You know, obviously we kind of did that while we were working at Microsoft. When we first started YouTube, I wasn't kind of like clear on which direction I wanted to go, or like where, you know, what was right and what I wanted to do. It kind of just sort of like suddenly clicked. And then Destiny dropped, and Destiny was the first game that I ever stuck with. Like, as a lot of you may know, Arekkz Gaming is a gaming channel. So we cover all big games, but we obviously do have Destiny, Monster Hunter, and The Division as our staples. Before Destiny came out, I would cover kind of games for like 2-3 weeks, and then I'd get bored of them, and I'd be like, well, what do I do next? And the problem with that is that when I started YouTube, it was like, I couldn't stick at any game, I kind of just got bored and I ran out of ideas for videos. But yeah, Destiny came out, and suddenly it just clicked, it just worked, and I was like, I just keep on making videos, you know, I just like, to this day, I'm still making daily Destiny videos for you guys. So yeah, that kind of happened. And then after Destiny, I covered Monster Hunter on Wii U back when it was sort of Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate. I did that for a while, but again I dropped that. But then when Monster Hunter 4 came around, I was like, you know what, I'm not going to miss this opportunity. So I started doing that again, and you guys responded really well to it. So I was like, well, I'm going to keep that up. And then obviously with The Division coming out, that looks like another really good game. So I was like, well, I'm going to start covering it like I did with Destiny, where I cover it before it actually comes out. And then when it comes out, we've already got an established fan base. So that, in a kind of really long-winded way, basically answered your question. But in short, 269 was the one that kind of, the catalyst that sort of made it start. And then we now still to this day work together, building the channel. And then hopefully it's going to get massive, and then yeah, that's the plan. I want also to answer the last part of Patrick's question, what made me start streaming as well as YouTube, is because being an informational style channel, you know, a lot of the time I kind of give you guys information, but it's kind of hard to sort of convey or like kind of put my personality out there while I'm sort of, you know, doing information. You know, I kind of don't want to sort of like fluff up the video. I just want to say, these are the facts, this is what you need to know, this is how it's going to be useful. So I figured the best way to kind of start engaging with you guys and trying to be sort of slightly more myself and just like chatty and stuff is to stream. You know, when I'm playing, I'm just playing the game, I'm being myself and I can chat to you guys. When I'm being informational, I'm like, you know, here it is, here's how it is. So yeah, that's also why I started streaming, just so I can kind of connect with you guys a lot better. Anyway, sorry, moving on. Question 2. That was a long answer, but Mark Burton, also on Twitter, he actually sent me about 5 or 6 tweets with loads and loads of questions. So I picked out a couple of your tweets. Apologies I can't answer all of them, but these are the ones I was going to answer. So first up, his first tweet, he said, what song best describes you and what do you do for a living? So I'm going to start with the second one because I don't really know what song best describes me. So what do I do for a living? I'm a YouTuber. I used to work at Microsoft up until January this year, and now I do YouTube full time. And what song best describes me? I don't know. But anyway, to answer some of your second questions, he then sent me another tweet with a few more, and he was basically like, what is your best gun setup for PvP, PvE, what made you pick your YouTube name, and what is your favourite colour? So there's a lot of questions in there, but also to answer that one, because quite a few of you guys also asked, where did my YouTube name come from? So let's start with that one. My YouTube name used to, well, not my YouTube name, my like online name when I was playing things like PlayStation, Xbox and stuff like that, used to be Arekkz, which is basically, because I used to learn Japanese, I learned for like 3 years, kind of dropped it because I ran out of time, but you know, I kind of want to sort of pick it up again. But when learning Japanese, Arekkz is like the phonetic sound for Alex. You have katakana, which is one of their syllabaries, and the word, like, or my name, Alex, because it's a borrowed word, because it's an English word and it's not a Japanese word, it's built up of katakana characters, so it's Arekkz, as you can see on screen, and that's what I used to roll with. But then my mate was like, my mate, shout out to Mark, he kind of just, one day he was like, you know what, that's rubbish, like, I think you should make it cooler, make it shorter, and he just kind of wrote Arekkz on screen. I was like, that kind of works, and I stuck with it. So yeah, it's just like a shorter version of like a Japanese pronunciation of Alex. So that is where Arekkz came from. But then when I was working at Microsoft, you know, the first channel, because I actually had a channel before this one, which was just youtube.com/Arekkz. It is still there, but it's got some really terrible videos on there, so please don't go check it out. But anyway, that's where we started. I also started running that one with 2.6, but then we decided to kind of start a fresh channel, do everything right. And then when I was at Microsoft, like jokingly, because I used to do videos with people, like they used to just call me Arekkz Gaming. And at first I was like, yeah, it's a funny name. And then afterwards, like, it kind of works. And 2.6 was also like, I think you should actually change your name to Arekkz Gaming. So we just did it. Instead of changing the old YouTube channel, we just started a fresh one, and that's where it came from. What's my favourite colour? My favourite colour is green. Even though I wear a lot of red, my favourite colour is actually green. I just kind of find that black and red is a cooler colour scheme for me. And best PvP, PvE gun setup. I'm not the best Crucible player, so I'm probably not the best person to advise. But PvP, I roll with Thorn, Predator Revenge, and Song of Arekkz, just because it's the only heavy machine gun that I've got that I actually like. And PvP, it really depends. Like, staple is Icebreaker and Black Hammer. Beyond that, I change my primaries and secondaries to fit. Next up, Jack Brewster asked, what hobbies did you have when you were young besides gaming? Besides gaming, I actually used to draw a lot. Before I kind of got into the games industry, or kind of before I started going to university to do like computer science and stuff, I actually wanted to be a concept artist in the games industry. So I did a lot of drawing, but then I realised that while at the time some of my drawings were right, I wasn't as good as like the really good artists. So I was like, you know what? This is more of a hobby and less of a thing that I'm actually going to pursue. So yeah, drawing, cars as well, less so when I was younger, but like now, you know, I really like my cars. Then Dennis Lee Rivard on Twitter also asked, what is your favourite monster in Monster Hunter? Now quite a few of you asked that as well. In fact, I got one question that was like, what are your top 3 monsters? So let's go with that. My favourite monster is Arekkz, because back when I played Monster Hunter Freedom Unite, it used to give me so much trouble that then when I kind of worked out how to defeat it, it was such an awesome moment. I was like, yes! And then I kind of like had this mutual respect for Arekkz. I think to myself, like, he used to give me so much trouble and now I beat him all the time, so now I'm kind of giving him trouble. Beyond that, Arekkz or Arekkz, I don't know however you want to pronounce it, but I can pronounce it Arekkz. The flagship monster from Monster Hunter Tri. That is one of my favourite monsters. I just really like its armour set and its weapons. I don't like fighting underwater, but when you fight Ivory version, then it's on land, which is cool. And the third one, I'd probably say, even though I don't particularly want its weapons or armour, I'd probably say the Seltas Queen, just because I think it's a really clever design. Like from a gameplay perspective, from like a game design perspective, like the way that you fight that monster and the way it kind of combines with the Seltas Queen as well, and it kind of picks things up. I think it's like a really clever design. So they are my top 3 monsters. Michael K said, will you do a walkthrough of the campaign missions and quests that will be added to the House of Wolves? Yes, if you guys want to see it, I probably will do it anyway. I'll definitely do a run through of like the Strike, like Prison of Elders, all that kind of stuff like that. But I probably will, seeing as I'm playing it, I might as well record it for you guys. I will record all of the missions as well. So yes. An Insurmountable Skullfort on Twitter said, what is your favourite exotic armour piece in Destiny, besides me of course? Well, if I was a Titan, yes, you would of course be my favourite, and despite the fact that I've got a Titan jumper on, I'm actually a hunter. So my favourite would have to be Don't Touch Me, just because I'm a sneaky guy and like back from the World of Warcraft days I like going invisible, so the fact that I can be meleeed and then I can go and disappear, just basically like vanish. Jaffall on Twitter said, what are some of the changes that you most want to see happen to the game when Destiny 2 comes out? And do you want it to be next gen only? So, yes, firstly I do want it to be next gen only. Now I apologise, I know a lot of you guys play on like Xbox 360 and PS3, but I believe like, for Destiny to kind of like truly evolve, for Destiny to kind of go in the direction it needs to leave the last generation behind. The problem with developing a game for like current generations and previous generations is that there are limitations. You know, if you want to kind of have parity across platforms, you know, I know graphics will look better on the newer ones, but if you want to have parity across platforms, you're going to have to make sacrifices. So I think for Destiny 2, I would like them to say, you know what, Xbox 360, PS3 characters, you can bring your characters with you, but you've got to leave your platform behind. And with that being said, what kind of changes would I like to see? Just like building on what they're doing. You know, the guys at Bungie, having been there last weekend and met them, you know, I can like really see they've just genuinely got some great ideas. They know what they want to do with the game. You know, they love and breathe it, and it is going in the right direction. It's just that in-game design, you know, you can't change things like that. You can't say, oh, you know, the community want this, okay, tomorrow it's there. You know, it takes a while to build these things. And Destiny is a service. You know, it's like, it's a game as a service more than just a game as like, it's not like you buy something like Final Fantasy or Tomb Raider. It's like a story-based game that you can just put in and you complete it from start to finish. This is an evolving game, and it will take a few years for it to get where we want it to be. What I would like to see, kind of just sort of like more of what they want to implement, more of them listening to us, because, you know, obviously House of Wolves is a great, you know, example of them listening to us, and just like, you know, more subclasses, basically more of what they've got, more subclasses, more classes in general, you know, more than just Hunter, Warlock and Titan. I'd like to see some more vehicle-based stuff as well, some sort of like, you know, epic kind of story, Halo kind of moments where we're like bombing through in like more than just like our sparrows. Joseph Kulkarni said on Twitter, which was the first Monster Hunter you played, and also what made you start your YouTube channel? Well, I've already answered the YouTube one, so what was the first Monster Hunter I played? Monster Hunter Freedom Unite. Actually no, tell a lie, Monster Hunter Freedom second, because I bought that one at first, because it was on a buy one get one free deal in game, so I bought it with my friend, I played it, and I got to Yankaku, and I got stuck. Then I put the game down, and then when Freedom Unite came out, I was like, let me get back into this game. So I got into it, suddenly kind of it clicked in my mind, and I was like, oh, that's how it works. And then suddenly, from then on, you know, I was like, I'm a massive Monster Hunter fan now. So yeah, Freedom Second / Freedom Unite. Sam on Twitter said, what do you think is the best way to start a YouTube channel? So bear in mind that when you start a YouTube channel, it is going to be slow. It's a slow grind. You're not going to like, you know, you might sort of like watch a lot of YouTubers and think, oh, I want to do what they do, you know, and then you make your channel and then you put your first video up and it gets like 2 views, maybe 10 views, maybe if you're lucky 100 views. And you're going to think to yourself, why have I only got that versus what, you know, what they have? And it's like, YouTube is a slow grind. You know, if you start out your very first year, you won't see massive numbers. You know, if you do, it's amazing and you've got like, you know, you've had like a really lucky streak. But chances are, if you're starting out fresh on a YouTube channel, it takes a while. So the main advice I can give you is, if you want to do it, be serious about it. Like, kind of, if you're genuinely dedicated and you enjoy making videos and you enjoy entertaining people, and you enjoy kind of just like putting information out there or putting like videos out there, that's what you need. Because the problem is, when you start making a YouTube channel, if you're doing it because you want to like get rich quick or because you want to like get like million subscribers and stuff, it's gonna like be disheartening, because after like your first day, your first month, your first even year, you'll be nowhere near your goal. And you'll just be like, oh, you know, I don't want to do it. But if you're doing it for the right reasons, because you like making videos, you like doing the YouTube stuff, and you just like just putting videos out there and playing games and kind of entertaining people, then it's fine, because you'll start off with the passion will just kind of like keep you going. And eventually when you start getting traction, then the YouTube stuff will obviously start rolling in and all that stuff like that. So the main thing is, yeah, just if you want to do it, keep at it, irrespective of the numbers, irrespective of the views, just keep going. And then try and sort of get some kind of like regular cadence. So at least if, you know, if you've got school, if you've got work and stuff like that and you can't do daily videos, that's fine. but try and do something that people can at least kind of connect with. So say like, if you can only upload twice a week, then just say, right, on Tuesdays, on Thursdays, these days will always be the same. So then if people subscribe to you, they come to know when you'll upload, and then they can kind of follow you with that. And then yeah, just beyond that, just stick at it, and it's just determination. Okay, so I finished filming this and I cut it up in my editing software, and it turns out it was about half an hour long. So that's a little bit too long, and I don't want to subject you guys to that or put you through like a really lengthy video. So I'm going to cut this right here, put out part 1 today, this weekend, and next weekend I'm going to give you Q&A part 2. So there are more questions to be answered, and the next video has a lot more answers because there are lots of shorter questions. But anyway, that's it for this week. Thank you again for 80,000 subscribers. Honestly, cannot thank you enough. But yeah, stay tuned next week, next Sunday, next Q&A, part 2 continued, and you can find out more answers. And yes, that's it. Thanks again for watching. Peace out.